everyone. Welcome to this video. I hope you're excited. This is my life now. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Simba is 14 weeks old and I thought I would do a little bit of a puppy Q&A because he has changed my life, and I feel like also over the last few weeks he as a dog has changed a lot.
Definitely the little teethies have come in, haven't they?
This is definitely normal, and I wouldn't be a puppy mum without some bite marks on my fingers, but what I'm allowing him to do right now is fine with me. I put my fingers in there, I can actually just control it myself. It actually feels really nice on his teeth when he is teething. But in this video I kind of just thought I would cover the basic things that we have learned. Obviously I'm not a dog trainer, I'm not claiming to know everything about puppies. I'm literally just sharing my experience from this little guy from the last how long have we had you for?
You're 14 weeks. How long have Mummy and Daddy had you for?
We have definitely learned a lot about him, about us, about being parents, and I did ask you guys on Instagram what you would like to know. Some of you do have puppies or you're getting puppies. I honestly just thought this could help some people out and prepare you a little bit more for what to expect or what to buy. Throughout this video though, I will talk about some recommendations that I have for puppy training and videos to watch online, but Geordie's stepmom is a dog trainer, so we got a lot of our tips and tricks from her, which was really helpful. So I'm just kind of relaying her messages of what she told us and what we learned through some training videos and everything like that. But going into this, we had the expectation that it was kind of going to be really hard. I think that was a good expectation to have, is that we went into it thinking that it was going to be a really tough experience, which to an extent it is, but it's also the best experience ever. Having a little baby is just so much fun, and I love you to bits even though you tear my hand to shreds. He's just chewing on some celery while I film this, so apologies if you can hear the chomping. I just think that's the most productive way to film this video. Is that yummy? Delicious. He loves celery. Probably first tip of the day. Celery is a great idea. Can you hear? Look at this kid.
Oh, delicious celery.
To start off with, I want to talk about some must-haves that I found super useful. Look, we bought a lot of stuff kind of not really knowing what to expect as well. So these are the things that we have genuinely used all the time, every day, that I would highly recommend getting. Not all of them are absolutely essential, but they work really well for us. First thing is a little security camera from Kmart. Ours was maybe $50, I want to say, but it seriously saves my life and I love it. Whenever I am out of the house, at work, going to the gym or whatever, and he is home alone, I set up the camera and I can actually access it from my phone, and so can Geordie. So we can both see Simba, talk to Simba, hear him through the camera all the time, which is really useful. We also use it at night time because he sleeps downstairs in his crate and we sleep upstairs. So if we want to see what he's up to in the middle of the night, and what's going on, then we can just switch to the camera because it does have like a night mode. I really like it. The next thing I would recommend for people in my sort of situation, obviously some people are going to have a backyard, and that is just not the case for us. We have a townhouse with a big-ish courtyard. We have a garden bed. He loves to go in the garden bed with all the trees, but we don't have proper grass, so that's why we bought AstroTurf, and we popped a big long 4-meter long AstroTurf strip, and that is really good also for toilet training and just so that he has more of a backyard. We got ours from Bunnings. It looks really nice. I think it matches our trees really well. It looks pretty aesthetic, and he he really likes it. So I'd highly recommend getting some AstroTurf just for toilet training too. It just makes it a little bit easier. The only tough part about AstroTurf is obviously cleaning it. We do have to spray and hose it down, and then we literally hang it up on our big washing line. But that's the only thing. The cleaning is kind of annoying, but definitely worth it for him to have some more grassy space. Another must have, again, this is so personal to us, but I think it is really beneficial at the moment, and that is having a crate. I really like crate training Simba. Dogs really like having a den-like space that is only theirs, and they can go in there and they can feel really safe, so he really likes that. So yeah, we really like using the crate at the moment. Whether or not he'll be in one forever, I'm honestly not sure. We're just kind of testing the waters at the moment, but so far so good. And obviously there is the generic sort of must-haves like the collar, the lead, collapsible water bottle, poo bags, everything that you would take on a day out. Lots of different toys. I think that is super important. We don't give him all of his toys at once. He has a whole bunch that we kind of just rotate through, some that are really nice and soft that he can cuddle up to, and also some that have ropes or are really nice on their teeth while they're teething. And even if you are leaving the house, maybe giving them a toy that they don't usually get to play with. So that's something really new and really exciting. There were a few sort of personal questions that came through, so I really wanted to just answer them straight away. And then I'll get into some more training tips that we've learned. One of the most common questions was, why do we pick the name Simba? I honestly think Geordie and I have just known, like deep down, we have known that we wanted a little baby boy called Simba for maybe 12 months before we got him. It was just always a name that we were like, of course, like our first dog's gonna be called Simba. Like we'll be walking around doing stuff and people are like, oh, what's his name? And we're like, Simba. And they're like, oh my gosh, that's so perfect. And I am biased, but I absolutely agree. He looks exactly like the live animation version of the Lion King Simba. Oh, so cute. But Simba means lion. You are such a lion. Roar. Another question was, what is the scariest thing that's happened to Simba so far? He's had a few incidences, just like any puppy. I think that's got to be expected, is that they get sick quite easily, but they also recover quite easily. You are crazy. So we picked Simba up when he was 8 weeks old, and for the first few days they kind of told us, you know, he might not eat so much. So we were just expecting that because he was nervous, it's a new environment, might just be a little bit anxious. But he wasn't eating properly for so long, and he would have sloppy poo, he would be not eating his food, it'd be really hard for him to eat his kibble. And it was really scary. Like, we obviously had no idea what was wrong. We thought the worst thing, we thought it could have been like parvo, but it was a parasite. Trust your instinct and go and get it checked out as soon as you think something's really wrong. And that was pretty scary, but he recovered within a week or two, which was really good. And now he, like since then, he has doubled in size, which is amazing because having a really teeny tiny skinny dog was super scary. He was 2.8 kilos when we got him and only 2.9 kilos 2 weeks after, which is, that's not healthy. That is really bad. But he was really sick. So, but now he is nearly 7 kilos. There are golden retriever puppies who are 3 times the size of him, and he is the same age. It just comes down to genetics, I guess. But yeah, there was a hiccup also on the night after my birthday. So not too long ago, he had gastro, but we didn't really know what that was at the time. We thought he'd gotten parvo or something like that. But I woke up in the middle of the night. This is honestly probably the scariest thing. Like, yes, his parasite was scary, but it was under control. But this one was so bad, and we still don't really know what caused it. We think maybe he's just eaten something funky off the floor. I think my mum instinct woke me up because he didn't make a noise, and I turned on the camera and I saw him standing in his crate, and I was like, that's so weird. So I ran downstairs and he was vomiting. threw up 3 times in his crate. The rest of the night, he was vomiting about once every 5 minutes. I started tracking the times on my phone like you would when you're in labor. It was so close together and I was terrified. So it got to like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning and I was like, screw it, I'm taking him to emergency. I think he's dying. That's so dramatic, but I genuinely thought he was dying. It's really not a nice thought to have. It's really, really scary. But my biggest advice is just trust your intuition. Do what you need to do as a parent. They gave him a shot. I'm not too sure what it was, but they injected him with this stuff that pretty much just rehydrates his body. Obviously, he'd lost a lot after vomiting so much. She sent us to another vet, our regular vet, to hand in some poo samples. They did more testing and stuff, and they said, look, everything's come back fine. Leave him till this afternoon, and if he's still bad, then we'll book him in for the ultrasound. But he was back to himself and back to eating by about 11 a.m.
But now you're all better.
Another like personal related question that came through was, does Simba have siblings? And yes, I think he has 8, but only 2 that I've been in contact with because they had seen my video on YouTube of me picking him up and been like, I went to that same place to get mine. But he has a brother that I know of called Clifford and he is very cute. And then your sissy is called Ziki. It's really nice because I'd really like to do a play date where they can all see each other again. I think that'd be so cute. But it's also so funny to see all the updates from the other mums and dads as well. I've decided to just relocate positions because Simba was really excited that I was sitting on the floor and you need to settle. Anyway, so I wanted to get onto the actual tips that I have when it comes to training and a bit of obedience stuff. So first things first, toilet training came up so much just because it is something that I feel like can be really, really tricky. I think we got really, really lucky. I think Simba has had maybe under 10 accidents inside, and I feel like a lot of those have been my fault or Geordie's fault because he hasn't had the door open to let himself out. Otherwise, he's been really, really amazing with this toilet training. I think the breeder did a lot of work before we went and picked him up. In his brain, he thinks to do his business on soft things. So we're really lucky that we don't have carpet down here. So if he is home alone and he is inside, we usually let him do his business. I won't really be gone for too long. He does his business, then he comes inside and he usually sleeps and hangs out. Not once has he done his business alone inside while we're gone, which is really good. Touch wood. There has been like incidents where he has peed on our bed. I will take the blame for that one because he hadn't done his nightly routine pee and I just wanted cuddles because I wanted some attention. And he peed on the bed and I was like, oh no. So I wasn't angry at him. I was just kind of like, Jess, of course he's gonna pee on the bed. So for toilet training, constant encouragement is absolutely necessary. Even if they do have an accident, just try and redirect them. So if they are peeing inside, we just show them outside. I've done it in a video before where I've accidentally been filming and he started doing a wee on the mat inside, and so I literally just picked him up, scooped him up, and we put him straight on the AstroTurf and he finished his wee. We use the word wee-wees as the verbal indicator to go to the toilet, which I think really helps. I don't want to say it too loudly because he might pee on his mat. Maybe finding a word that works for you guys. We just say wee-wees and then he goes to the toilet. Having timber flooring inside is really good. He actually doesn't really come upstairs. He's never walked around on the carpet upstairs just because we don't want to ruin the carpets, obviously. He has come upstairs on the bed sometimes. He just stays downstairs. This is all his area on the nice timber flooring, and it works really well. Also, if he does have an accident here, it's no big deal. We can just clean it up really easily. So if you do have rugs and stuff, I understand people will have carpet, but if you have rugs, maybe it's worth just folding them away until they're a little bit older, like what we needed. We used to have a rug under the table, so we've just rolled that up, and when he's a bit older, we'll bring it back. Another thing that I thought I would mention with toilet training is something that my friends Sam and Von do that work really well for them. I haven't tried it yet, but I honestly would really like to, but they have a little bell hanging from their door where Mila can go out to the toilet, and she will ring it if she needs to go to the toilet. So they kind of taught her that when she needed to go, when they would open the door, she would ring the bell. The only thing is, I think Simba will ring it when he doesn't need to go. When he just wants to go outside and play with sticks, he'll just be constantly ringing the bell. Another thing I wanted to talk about was renting and dogs, because obviously we do rent where we are. And the reason we applied for this place is because it was pet friendly, which was very important to us because we knew eventually, like maybe sometime this year, we didn't know when, but we were going to get a dog when we were living in this house. So we made sure on our initial application for this property that we said we intend on getting a dog, and we made sure there was a dog on the application. The issues came in when there wasn't a dog on the tenancy agreement because we didn't have one at the time, which is obviously fair enough. Like, you can't put an imaginary dog on a tenancy agreement if you don't have it. So we contacted our real estate agent and said, look, we've been contacted by our breeder that we were on the wait list for, and they've offered us a dog. Is this okay? Can you check with the landlord? La la la. I won't go into any details, but pretty much we agreed upon an extended lease to be able to have the dog on the property, just so that they have a bit of security that we're, you know, not just going to pack up and leave in 6 months. If you're in a situation where you're struggling to get the landlord to accept your dog, I think it's really important to go out of your way to reassure them that the property itself will be fine. So what we've actually done, and you've probably seen it in so many of my videos, is we've actually got 2 gates set up in the house to prevent Simba from actually coming upstairs on the carpet. Also, the stairs have like gaps in them, so it's pretty dangerous for him to go up the stairs anyway. He never has. I don't really want him to because it's too scary. And then we also have another gate around the bottom of the stairs, which can also extend around my desk. But we like this one because it just means he can't actually chew on the stairs itself and cause any damage to the property. I don't really give a shit if he chews on our couch or our old dining table. Like, it really doesn't bother me. But that's what I would suggest if you're struggling with getting your landlord to accept a dog. Now I really want to talk about training and the things that we've learnt. I think he's super smart and he picks up on things really quickly. But we did a food approach to training. But we followed Zach George on YouTube, who is a professional dog trainer. He has a few books and stuff, but he has this series with the first 24 hours with your puppy on there, and they're like 50-minute episodes, and they are fantastic. When I tell you, Geordie and I binge watched all of them. But I'll link the videos down below that I found really useful for the first 24 hours, or just like training tips, avoid this. He was incredible. So the first 2 tips I have for training, which I think are the most crucial things, is patience, because you've got to have a lot of it. And the second thing would be to consistently train. If you are working from home, this is the perfect opportunity to consistently train throughout the day. But don't just do it once a day at night or just once a day in the morning. Try and do it as many times as you can in little 5-minute, 10-minute increments. Another thing that we do when training is use the word yes. So for a while we were saying like, good boy, when he does something that we want him to do. But since then we've kind of been saying yes. Good boy is used in way too many scenarios, like when you walk in the front door, you're like, oh, you're such a good boy. Whereas when you're training, you go yes when they are doing something that you want them to do. It's a really strong word, it's a really simple word, and they can understand that really well. You do you, that's just what works for us. Alrighty, I'm very excited to show you guys the things we've taught him so far. Some of them are just like fun things that we wanted to teach him. They don't really mean anything, but I just think it's really cute. But obviously a lot of them are still super important for manners and for waiting and for doing as he's told. I'll grab him now and we'll do some training. When we first started training him, this is how we got him to do things, is we would get a little bit of the treat, just a little bit. Come. and you would kind of put it at their mouth and push them back into the position that you want them to get in. So for him, that was a sit. You guys have probably seen it in my earlier videos. And then once he's in that sitting position, then he can let go of the treat and he can eat it. Doing that and kind of leading them with the treats worked really well. Again, I'll leave Zach George's video down below. He talks about it way better than I ever could. But let's show everyone the things that you know so far. Come. Sit. Yes. Drop. Yes. Come around. Yes. High five. Yes. This is my new favorite one. I think it is so cute. 10. Yes. Good boy. That was very clever. Now this one is a really good one for teaching them not to eat food off the ground. That is maybe a bit unfamiliar. And just not to eat everything they see, which obviously is easier said than done, but this one took a long time to get it down pat. So I would get a treat and I would just throw it on the ground right in front of his face, leave it, leave it. You kind of put your hand over it and say leave it, and then you can also go, look at me. Yes, good work. Oh, look at all these treats. Oh, look at me. Yeah, I know you want them really bad. Look at me. Good work. Leave it. Look at me. Yes. Bed. Let's go in it. What a fail, Simba. Bed. That's better. Yes. Spin. Yeah, good boy. Woohoo! I honestly have no idea if any of those made sense, but I hope it helps in one way or another if you do have a new puppy or you are getting one. He's still got a very long way to go, but that is what we've learned in the first few weeks of having him. If I left your question out, I'm really sorry. Feel free to pop it in the comment section below and I'll try and get back to you with an answer as best I can. If you enjoyed this video or found it useful, please go down and give it a thumbs up down below, because that makes Mummy very happy and Simmy very happy. I make new videos every Tuesday and Friday, so I will see you on Friday.